Hello and welcome to the Afrocentric Woman Impromptu Live. I want to talk a little bit about emotionally limited people and interacting with them and maintaining your own boundaries and maintaining your own sense of self and how being emotionally advanced, emotionally available, and showing up and being present in your own skin, owning your emotions, owning your actions, expressing needs and desires is very advanced. It is very advanced in the human development scheme. And there's such a variety of people who are on the path or who are not on the path or who show up with various like ability to be okay with emotions. And this goes for both women and men. It's a bit frustrating, but I think that the way to get through this is to know that your needs are valid and that it's okay to feel emotions regardless of who it is that you're talking with and who it is that you're dealing with, and also knowing where you can go to get what, right? Because I love having people in my life that I can show up my whole self with them and be present with them. And sometimes they're able to hold space for me and to see me and to just see who I am is extremely, it's a gift. It really truly is a gift to be seen, to be heard, and to be felt in communion with humans, right? And especially within the sisterhood, it is such a divine gift. Everybody does not have that to give. Okay, everybody does not have that available to them. There are a lot of people who don't show up for themselves. They don't have the ability to show up for you. They're just going through the motions of life. They're not fully even a lot all the way into their own human experience, right? To see that, to know that, and observe that, and to be at peace with that is okay. And the level of maturity that it takes when you see an emotionally limited person being triggered by emotions because they're not strong enough to absorb anything, they're not strong enough to listen to anything, even if it's negative feedback, they're not strong enough to hear it. They're not strong enough to hear what your experience is of them. And they're triggered and they're hurling insult. But when you know who you are, you're at peace because you know who you are. And when you know that your needs are valid or the things that you're expressing are valid, you can be at peace and allow everything to unfold. And when you're savvy, you can redirect conversations to be productive again. Because, there's just the savviness that comes with wisdom when you see you've reached the end of the road with a particular situation. It's not going to go any further. There's no capacity and availability. There's just not enough substance there for anything of substance to be discussed, right? When people sort of get into this rut of, um, you know, who do you think you are, or you're selfish, or you're this, or you're that. And that is the wall. That is the barrier. Like, there's really nowhere to go past that. And so you have to be savvy enough to feel when you bump up against that wall. We can't push past here. So I need to reel it in and I need to give you a version of me, but I can't really show up all the way for you because it's not really safe. I mean, I've had to do that with a variety of family members. They're just too limited. I've bumped up against the wall of where it's safe to be fully who I am. And so now I need to just give you aspects of me, but I am so expansive, I can't really give it all. You understand? And the thing about emotional strength and fortitude is that I can hear a variety I can hear a variety of feedback about people's experience of me, regardless of what I intended to do or didn't intend to do. Um, Especially the people who I love and who are close to me, I want them to be able to express how they're experiencing me, because my intentions become a bit uh, less important than how it's being received on the other end. How it's being received on the other end is also important. So there really is an open door. I mean, like, maybe, the cliche way to say it is like, I have thick skin. You can tell me how you feel, right? I do. Like, I have thick skin, but some people don't. And it's more than emotional intelligence, because that's very surface level. It's about, it's way more than emotional intelligence. This is way more expansive. It's a bit of a mix of emotional availability, being able to express needs. And I'll give you a couple examples. So, there was a live that I did the other day, that I've since took down. It was just kind of like an impromptu. I was expressing with the people who were on that live, which they were super supportive of me and held space. When I was going through something, as it pertains to my daughter, that's still ongoing, but it's not as fresh. So I'm able to move further. I'm able to move to do things that I need to do, and it's not as, as fresh as it was that particular day. But I spoke with my brother about it, and I really didn't get any emotional support at all. But he was willing to, like, financially contribute to the solution, and it is what it is. Like, he has what he has to give, and that's really not a lot of emotional support. And I think that as far as emotional support, like, I emotionally support my brother and encourage my brother, and he kind of, like, he shows up for me physically, and he shows up for my daughter physically to provide a stabilizing force, and he provides financially. And, like, that's what he has to give. And that's how he loves. He shows up and he financially contributes. But he's not going to be able to, like, provide encouraging words or, like, be insightful or intuitive. He don't have that to give, right? So that is an example of me understanding the limitations of, like, what's there, right? And knowing what I can go to for him for, and how that can go. You know what I'm saying? Then let me show you another example. So there's another example of, you know, I've posted a couple videos. I have more. I have videos already recorded that I just haven't released about raising boys, that I've been holding on to because it's so hostile, in this YouTube space. It's hostile around single mothers. It's hostile around raising Black boys, birthing Black boys. It's very hostile. So I have probably 2 or 3 videos recorded that I recorded them months and months and months ago. I just been holding on to these videos because it's hostile out here, right? It's very hostile. I'll release them eventually, but anyway. So listening to other YouTubers, make disparaging remarks about Black children and children of single mothers, and feeling disappointment in that, um, understanding of it, but to then also hear that person say, "I shouldn't have been born." That's really what's going on. So the vitriol that's being expressed towards these children, and this person feels like they shouldn't have been born. My concern about what they say about children is the least problem that's happening in that dialogue. This is a person who's questioning their existence on the earth, right? This is a person who would say, I shouldn't have been here. So there's other women who feel like that as well. Oh, my circumstances are so horrible. I shouldn't be here. So really, as a YouTuber or whatever, a person, a woman, a sister, who wants to support women and have, I've had the S word that I can't say on YouTube hit very close to my family, a woman who didn't want to go on any longer. She was a single mother. So I and like being in other groups and listening to women who are struggling with depression and talking about like not wanting to go on any further. I have extreme compassion for women who grapple with those types of feelings and emotions. And I myself, who have, I haven't been having any major bouts of depression in, within the last couple of years or so, but as someone in the past who has dealt with depression, I have extreme compassion, not only for my own experience, but with working and talking with other women who have been experiencing depression and feelings of not wanting to live further. So I can't really like be too mad at what's coming out of a person's mouth like that when they're saying disparaging things about children, because what's going on with them emotionally, and like what kind of weight should I really be placing on that, really, because it's not about you making assessments about these children or these mothers. This is really about you getting help for yourself, right, and coming out of that fog. I have talked over and over and over and over and over again on this channel about worthiness, feeling a sense of belonging, and feeling a sense of agency, and feeling a sense of you belong on this earth. You are worthy, you are unique, and you are lovable. That has been the consistent message over and over and over again. And I will continue with that same message, right? So those kinds of people need to get the message that I'm saying about the worthiness. It's not about making assessments about which children should be here and which children shouldn't be here. It's about you knowing that you should be here. That's what it's about. Because if you don't feel a sense of belonging, and you don't feel worthy, and you don't feel lovable, and you haven't accepted yourself, you aren't taking care of yourself, there's nothing but hatred and vitriol that could possibly come from that. You understand? It's the only thing that could come from it. Love, compassion, empathy, understanding, seeking to understand, having a curiosity about life and enjoying the human experience comes from a place of love from within. You have to have that to give that. You got to have it. You have to have that love inside of you. Not the cheapo affirmations, not that I'm just going to say I love myself, a full embodiment of it. A full embodiment of it. So I have to really look, I can't take it serious, right? Because the issue isn't what's coming out of women's like that's mouth, it's what's going on inside of you that's making you feel this way. And that's what I'm going to continue to that's what I'm going to continue to contribute to on the channel. Okay, and consistently show up as who I am. That's all I've ever served you ladies, is who I am. And my sincere desire for Black women and girls to elevate, to be cared for, to be nurtured, and to be protected. Those have been my desires from the beginning. And to use myself and all of my background and all my mistakes and all of blah, 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 as an access point, a connection point, vulnerability, connection. So pulling it back to a conversation that was just recently had, Dios santo, so many limitations. And you know, connection, like relationships are strengthened through overcoming misunderstanding each other, There have been some ladies on the channel who are still connected with me, and I know I've said stuff that y'all don't like. I know I've irritated some folks, maybe made some of my subscribers mad or whatever. And they've y'all have let me know, hey, y'all have let me know some stuff. And I hear that. I hear it and I listen. Because this is a two-way street. But I think moving through some of that and going, I just feel like the connection is just stronger, really. And I really think like that's how the offline relationships are. Like, you have to have communication skills to be able to move through turbulence in a relationship. It's so fake and phony, because I can be fake and phony and we can be cordial and we can ask about the weather, and that's like not really the whole of who I am. We can do that for years. That's not the whole of who I am. So when I have strong feelings about something and it's not able to be heard because of the defense mechanisms, and it's not even that, it's the limitations, major limitations. Because even if I hear you say something, I want to get to the heart of what you're saying, because sometimes people can be very broad and not very specific about what it is. What exactly are you feeling? You can't say, oh, that put me in my feelings. Can you name the feeling exactly as to which feeling that you have been put into? And that's fine and that's valid. And furthermore, what exactly, can you pinpoint what it was that made you feel that way? And do you know why? Some adults cannot answer that question. And it's such a deflection tactic to be like, you do this with that person, you do this with that person, you're da da da. Listen, if you're not a self-preserving woman, I will appear to be selfish to you. But to women who are self-preserving, I'm just a regular woman. There was something that was interesting that was said from this person. She says, she made this comment. She said, well, you don't even know what's going on in my life. I have this going on. This person passed away. I have so much going on. I'm stressed out. And I said, oh, I would like to be there to support you, but I would need for you to communicate to me what's going on in your life so that I can support you. Well, I don't need your support. I wouldn't ever ask for your support. I have a family system to support me. Okay, fine. This is the thing about ultra independent women who reject support, because I can promise you it's never isolated to one scenario. These are women who die at work because they don't ask for the necessary days off, right? These are the women who overwork themselves because they don't ask for days off. They don't take their PTO. They don't take their break. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to ask for support. These are women who end up with dusties because they're ultra independent. So they supplement the dusties deficiencies because they don't require any support. So I know that this is a phenomenon that spreads over into other aspects of life. This is what I know. This is what I have observed over the last 15 plus years. So when I'm showing up to you as your sister and I'm saying, I'm here to support you, I would love to know what's going on so that I could support you, and I'm shut down because the person isn't someone who would seek support. This isn't someone who makes requests. This isn't someone who makes their needs known. This is a person that constantly comes to me when the disaster has already happened, right? Not in the lead up to it, but when it's already in full-fledged disaster mode. Then I find out in the aftermath, because this person likes to endure the pain alone. But honestly, I'm proud that my codependency is completely in check, because it's not my job to rescue anybody. It's not my job to do anything beyond offering support to an adult who then has the free will to take advantage or to not. But some people don't even realize the privilege that it has, the privilege that you would have to have such a person to be a support system for you, a high quality person. But it's the same thing. Any other precious, diamond or something, someone who's never seen a diamond, they don't know what the hell that is, right? They will just toss it to the side. It's, you know what I'm saying? So you know who you are. I know who I am. If someone wants to endure pain on their own, they have the right to do that. If they don't live in a world where they ask for things that they need and they express desires, I can't expect for them to express any needs to me. And when I express a need, because that's how I roll. Okay. I ask for shit all the time. I don't mind asking for what I need and want. I have trained myself to express my needs and desires. And I'm training my daughter to express her needs and desires. So when someone doesn't do it for themselves, and I'm asking something of them, like, I need more time, or I need you to call me, or I would like for this, their experience of me expressing a desire is that I'm selfish. And that's how they feel about it. Because in the way that their mind works is, you handle everything on your own. Don't ask anything of anyone ever. Be totally self-sufficient. So imagine someone who's totally self-sufficient. They don't ask for what they need. They don't ask for support. They don't ask for someone to show up for them. They endure all levels of pain and destruction on their own, and they figure it out, and they shut down. And so when you show up and you're expressing a need, their experience of you is that you're selfish and inconsiderate. I could be going through something. It could be whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I could be going through a difficult time. Someone could call me. They don't have a clue what I'm doing. They don't have a clue, right? Maybe I was supposed to be somewhere the week before. I didn't go. I don't know, whatever the case may be. They're calling because they're upset. I wasn't where I was supposed to be. They needed me there. They call me, hey, Afrocentric woman, I can't believe you weren't at my party last week. I really wanted you to be there. My response to them is, I'm going through something right now. I'm tired. I'm this, I'm that. Can you hold that thought, please? I want to hear you, but I can't right now because I'm going through something. Please, let's recircle back to this and talk about it when I get some rest. That's how I would handle a situation like that. This person who's calling me with this grievance that I don't even know about from a week ago. I didn't know about what I didn't do, and how they've been festering with it for a week. I didn't know that shit, right? And I'm going through something, and they don't know what I'm going through. But when you value the person on the other side of the line, and you know that their needs and desires are valid and important to you, you find a way to navigate to make it work, right? So the more immature way to handle that is, I can't believe you're calling me about something last week. I didn't even know about that. And now I'm going through this. You don't even know what I'm going through. Because listen, Both people on both sides of the phone have the same desire. They want support. They want support. But when you're not emotionally mature enough to listen to what people have to say and move through it, try and move into their shoes and see how they might be feeling, right? Then you can see. Then you're able to move past it, and both sides can have their needs met. This person that I was talking to earlier have had a multitude of things going on. I don't know about any of them. I have had a lot of stuff going on too. And I've actually been hemming and hawing. Like, I really just didn't even want to have the conversation, but I just felt like I needed to have the conversation. This is the conclusion. For a long time, my desire for connection has been stronger. I'm at peace with that. It is what it is. I wish it wasn't there, but it is. So I just have to make peace with that. I just have to make peace with that. What I discovered today, well, what I discovered a few weeks ago, is that this person is an extreme pick-me-sha. And it hurts me to see her get love bombed by a bandit and be willing to like throw family, like throw all number of stuff away because of this guy. But I'm going to be at peace. I am at peace with that because it's not my job to protect her from her choices. She hasn't learned from the bandits, and she ain't going to past 40. Maybe you just going to be pick-me-sha for life, right? Maybe that's just the answer. That's possibly the answer. I'm at peace with that. You give me, I would love to express why I felt the way I felt, but we couldn't get there. We couldn't get there because your experience of me is selfish because I made a request of you that you didn't like the request. You could just say no, but you don't like the request. You want support, but you won't ask. It's just that it is an extremely limited person. So when you're able to observe people's limitations without taking their limitations personally against you, knowing that your feelings are valid and knowing that you can get those needs met from a variety of sources. It doesn't have to be from this person. You can go wherever and get needs met. Coming into peace with how this person shows up into the world, trying to see whatever good aspects they have about themselves and knowing what you can expect from them is very important. And I think sometimes people look at women and they think that women are supposed to be more emotionally available than men, but sometimes they're just as limited. Right? So maybe our relationship will just be superficial for the rest of eternity. And you will show up occasionally here and there. We will check in about superficial things, and I will not get involved with your pick-me-sha lifestyle. That's just what it is. I am at peace with all of that. I'm at peace with all of that. You have to recognize the limitations, because people who are able to move through a difficult time and say what they have to say, be heard, have what was said expressed back to them, have the person pinpoint the behavior that triggered these emotions and commit to changing the behavior, and then the person keeps reversing and digressing back to the pain point, it's because they really don't have the ability to move through anything healthily. they're so used to being in stagnated drama that doesn't have any type of fruitful conversation, that they would prefer to dwell on it. The interesting, I mean, and it's like, it's annoying. It's annoying how Pygmishas forgive Tyrones for some of the most egregious shit. Just egregious. Cheating, STDs, using their bank card, all number of shit. Tyrone don't have to do much to get forgiveness. But your own flesh and blood sister can express a need without you, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you're safe, this happens a lot. When you don't blow up and you're not easily triggered and you're able to like listen and da 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 da, when you're a safe person, people will gather things from other situations that they feel are not safe and they will just use the opportunity to unload on you because they know you're not gonna like be ghetto or loud or throw anything at them or do anything ratchet. You're able to like listen and hear them. Some of it's you, but some of it might be the issue at hand, but some of it's other stuff too. And you just have to understand that. Some of it's other stuff too. So when you're emotionally available and vulnerable to someone, that's where real connection can happen. That doesn't mean it's going to be reciprocated. Like there's no guarantee, but that doesn't mean change who you are. I guess like that's one of the main points I'm trying to say. That doesn't mean change who you are and shut down and close off, because having access to a variety of emotions is a true human experience. Having access to a range of emotions is a true human experience. So you don't have to shut down and shut off because when you're vulnerable and available, it's not reciprocated. That's when you go into being the observer. The other person isn't wrong for being limited. I've done an obscene amount of like self work. I've dealt with some very ugly demons and I've like slayed them head on. I've looked these demons in the face and I have slayed them head on. They don't own me, they don't control me, right? I am free. I don't know what other demons may rear their head. I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to live a good life and to be fully myself and to continue to ascend on this journey. So some people haven't done that work and they're very limited. Some, you know, and it really helps to look at people's family systems too. Like I look at some of my friends who ghost and don't call and don't express. I'll tell them like, you can tell me no and it means we're still friends. You know, you don't have to ignore me because you can't accommodate what I'm saying. I still love you even if the answer is no. But looking at their family dynamic and just looking at how they talk with each other, you can understand why that person is the way they are. Sometimes I have to ask myself, what the fuck is the purpose of having this limited ass person around me? I have to really like ask myself those difficult questions. What is the reason in my Cardi B voice? I don't know. I mean, sometimes I look at people, like I've looked at like 3 friends from high school, and I mean, I love them from afar, you know, because they're so limited. I love them from afar. And, you know, I'm still mourning. I'm mourning my idea of who I thought these women would be in my child's life. Like, who I thought these women would be in my children's life. Because, like, as we were growing up, like, I saw different aspects of these women that I don't possess. One of them's like super, super, like, sparkles and like way more sparkly than I am. She's good in a particular sport. I've just put my daughter in that sport. I always imagined her, you know, showing up like that in my child. Well, I was thinking I'd have more than one child, but I was thinking that she would show up like that in my child's life. And I thought my fashion friend would like show up for my child with the fashion, because I don't really have the fashion like that, right? I do the best I can, but I really don't have like the best fashion sense. So I was like, she'll show up like that, and my other friend will just show up just like physical support, and like we can raise our children together. I never see her. This girl lives like 15 minutes from me. I never see her. She will not answer the phone. She isolates herself so much. She's very limited. I wish she wasn't, but that's just what it is. Like, I'm still mourning the fact that I don't get what I wanted. And I'm still like, I guess, still I'm in the acceptance phase of it. I'm accepting the fact that these women did not show up the way I thought they would. We are not connected the way I thought we would. We are not raising our children together like the way I thought we would. And I'm still like in the grieving process of that. And it is hurtful. I feel lots of stuff. I feel hurt. I feel disappointed. I feel unsupported. I feel a lot. I can't even talk to these people about this because one of them, I, you know, said something to her, and I finally understood that she was gaslighting me. I didn't really have the language. I didn't have the language for gaslighting, but I would like express things to her, and she'd be like, "No, that's not it. That's not what's happening." Um, oh crap! I need to take that call. Live, but I didn't understand that what was happening. Like I would express things to her and she'd be like, oh no, that's not, oh, I do this. Oh, that. She would gaslight the shit out of me. I just didn't have the language for it. Now I understand what gaslighting is. So yeah, that's what's happening. And when I confront her with something, she deflects. And another tactic is she pretends to be stupid. People who pretend to be stupid, it's like it's kind of like a deflection tactic. They don't want to own their actions. They want you to explain everything to them, and then after you explain, they're going to deny it, deflect, and gaslight the shit out of you. I had no idea that was going on for years. That was going on for years. And she'd be like, "You're my best friend," and I'm like, how exactly am I your best friend? Like, what you're saying and what you're doing is not lining up, because best friends don't estrange themselves from each other for like 6 months. Right. Best friends don't go through the, you know, this level of estrangement and then this is not what's happening here, but that's a form of gaslighting, right? So I just have to like say what's going on. Like, we are acquaintances who knew each other from childhood and we're still somehow know each other, but best friends we are not. Because I'm going to speak the reality of what's happening, okay? You're not about to gaslight me. So keep ascending and keep fortifying yourself, and understand that as you begin to make requests and desires and you want a more robust connection with other humans, you might yourself run up against this too. You might run up against dealing with very limited people. And knowing where's the push point, where can you go, what can you get from different people. Everybody's not going to show up for you vulnerable, available, ready to connect. Some people are deeply afraid of human connection, because if you truly connect with someone, that vulnerability in and of itself, you have the ability to be abandoned, you have the ability of the person letting you down, right? You open yourself up to that. You have to be strong enough to open yourself up to that. Not everybody is, but just because other people aren't doesn't mean that you don't have to be. You can still show up and be available. You can still show up and express your desires and express your feelings, but be savvy and wise and know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to back off, and where to go to. Where is it safe for you to be you? Find your safe people. Find your safe people. All right, I got to take this call, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just a quick little note. YouTube has taken me off the blacklist. Well, maybe I don't know. I might be on the yellow list now. I don't know. But my channel was being suppressed. But now they given me a community tab and I'm no longer being suppressed. I was losing half of my comments. YouTube was deleting them, but now I'm getting like 95% of the comments are posted. So they must have done something on their end to take me off of whatever list I was on. I don't know. So that's in part to you, lovely ladies. Thank you for supporting the channel and for engaging, because I do believe that your engagement and support has helped YouTube take me off of whatever list I was on and stop to suppress my channel so much. So I thank you and I appreciate you. We'll talk soon. Peace.